The alarm bells over the Taiwan Strait just became sirens. Newly leaked intelligence files reveal something far more explosive than anyone imagined. Russia is quietly arming China, as Beijing accelerates preparations for a potential Taiwan invasion by 2027. Yes, supplying China with weapons, components, and military technology designed for one purpose: helping Xi Jinping seize Taiwan. This is not speculation. This is not rumor. These leaked documents confirm that the Beijing-Moscow partnership has moved from political alignment to military coordination. It is a new axis forming in real time, and the world is only now starting to understand what it means. China has been planning a modernization of the People's Liberation Army for years. Xi Jinping publicly announced the goal of building a fully modern, combat-ready military by 2027. But the leaked files show the plan as far more aggressive than the world assumed. China does not just want a modern military, it wants an invasion-ready military. Operation since D-Day, crossing 100 miles of ocean, overpowering Taiwan, and fighting off the United States and its allies in the opening hours. That is the scale of ambition hiding behind these leaks. Now we learn that Russia is deeply involved. Moscow is providing missile guidance systems, electronic warfare enhancements, submarine quieting technology, torpedo targeting assistance, satellite intel sharing, cyber warfare coordination, and logistical expertise for rapid deployment. Russia is essentially giving China the missing pieces it needs to challenge the United States head-on. Domain assault, involving missile saturation, naval blockade, airborne landings, cyber blackouts, and the complete isolation of Taiwan within hours. With Russian help, the plan becomes far more dangerous. Let's break down what those upgrades mean. First, missile systems. China's DF-17 hypersonic glide vehicle becomes even more difficult to intercept, with guidance packages influenced by Russia's long-range missile expertise. Enhancements meant to defeat U.S. missile defenses. Russia has spent decades refining missile decoy systems and radar spoofing technology. Now, China is absorbing that knowledge. It is like Russia saying, "Here, try these tricks we used against NATO," and Beijing replying, "Perfect, we will use them against the US Navy." The combination creates a nightmare scenario for US carrier strike groups. Then there is electronic warfare. Russia's electronic warfare is battle-tested in Ukraine and Syria. They are notorious for GPS jamming, radar interference, drone disruption, and communications blackouts. China has strong electronic warfare capabilities already, but Russia's systems take them to another level. The files show Beijing is integrating Russian-style jamming into its Taiwan invasion plan. Imagine a scenario where Taiwan's command centers lose GPS, radar screens flicker, drones fall from the sky, and US forces approaching the region experience signal interference. That is the world these leaks describe. Electronic darkness before the missile storm. But the most strategically significant cooperation involves submarines. China has been trying to quiet its submarines for years. Loud subs are easy targets for US anti-submarine warfare patrols. Russia, however, has decades of experience quietly stalking NATO fleets. With Russian quieting techniques and advanced torpedo systems, if you succeed in folding fire, that still can't and put you well. Imagine a wolf pack of Chinese subs waiting in the Philippine Sea while an invasion unfolds. That is the scenario Xi is preparing for, and Russia is helping him build it. The files also show Russia assisting with logistics, one of China's biggest weaknesses. Amphibious invasions require massive fuel supplies, naval escorts, forward repair stations, communication redundancy, a clear supply corridor. Russia is helping China solve these problems using techniques developed during its own operations in Ukraine and Syria. If China builds a rapid, stable supply chain across the strait, Taiwan's chances shrink dramatically. This is not just about landing forces. It is about sustaining them. So how does Taiwan respond? Taiwan is accelerating its own preparations with coastal missile batteries, hardened airfields, underground hangars, mobile defense radars, long-range anti-ship missile systems, a growing drone fleet, and expanding military training for civilians. Taiwan's strategy is simple. Survive the first wave, hold until allies arrive, and make the invasion so costly that Beijing hesitates. But the leaked files suggest China believes it can overwhelm Taiwan before help arrives, or at least slow the US response enough to gain a decisive advantage. And Russia's involvement makes that more plausible. The United States has taken notice, including increasing F-35 deployments, expanding bomber rotations to Guam, pre-positioning munitions, strengthening submarine patrol patterns, negotiating additional access with Japan in the Philippines, upgrading missile defenses. The US is also improving its ability to strike from afar, using systems like long-range hypersonic weapons and stealth bombers. Washington understands the timeline. 2027 is not far away. But the leaked files trigger a deeper question. Why 2027? And militarily, in ways that could make intervention harder. Second, China's domestic economy is slowing. Leaders often use nationalism to redirect public frustration. Taiwan could become a rallying point. Third, Xi is reportedly concerned that waiting past 2030 gives the United States too much time to expand alliances, reinforce bases, and deploy new weapon systems. For China, 2027 is the moment when the balance of power is closest to even. After that, the advantage shifts toward the United States. Now add Russia to the equation. Russia benefits from a conflict in Asia. Down in the Pacific, European attention splits, NATO's focus shifts, Russia gains breathing room in Ukraine and Eastern Europe. A Taiwan crisis creates a window Russia desperately needs. This is why the leaked files show coordinated planning between Russian and Chinese cyber units. Russia is offering to disrupt Western networks, financial systems, and satellites during the opening hours of a Taiwan conflict. Global cyber chaos while Chinese missiles fly. That is the blueprint. As the leaks spread, questions intensify in Japan, South Korea, Australia, and the Philippines. All see the same writing on the wall. Japan is increasing military spending faster than at any time since World War II. South Korea is revising war plans in case North Korea joins China. Australia is preparing new submarine fleets under the AUKUS Pact. The Philippines is expanding US access to military sites. Everyone is bracing for something. Even India is strengthening its presence in the Indian Ocean, quietly preparing for the possibility of a two-front Chinese strategy. The shockwaves of these leaks stretch across continents. Economically, a Taiwan war would be catastrophic. Half of the world's semiconductor production would freeze. Shipping lanes across East Asia would collapse. Global inflation would surge. Stock markets would nosedive. Energy prices could spike. If Taiwan falls or is blockaded, the world enters an economic earthquake. That makes these leaks even more alarming. This is not a regional conflict. It is a global trigger. All of this leads to the final and most important question. Is war inevitable? The truth is complicated. China wants Taiwan. Russia wants distraction. The United States wants deterrence. Taiwan wants survival. Allies want stability. Markets want peace. But when two nuclear-armed powers prepare for opposite outcomes, the margin for error becomes razor-thin. One collision, one miscalculation, one missile test gone wrong, one cyber attack that crosses a red line. Suddenly, diplomacy is gone, and history takes over. We are watching the early chapters of something the world may not be ready for. The question now is simple. Can this countdown be stopped? Or are we already on the path toward a showdown neither side can back away from? Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe and see you next time.